Monica Kelsey from Beyond the Box. We are in the studio today. We are in town today, which is nice on a Friday afternoon. But we are here with Abby Garrison and Larry Betts, who I have known for a long time. And I'm going to let you guys hear why they're so special to me. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for those people who don't know you, just give me a 60-second. Why is Abby Garrison so important to Monica Kelsey?
Well, I am the widow of Josh Garrison, and Josh Garrison was on the fire department with you, and you guys became very close, and he was a huge asset to kind of getting the baby boxes rolled out, and was, and I was, completely on board and supportive and excited to watch this unroll and happen. And I love that, Josh got to be a huge part of it.
I do too. And Larry, why are you so important to Monica Kelsey?
Oh, well, like you said, knowing each other for years. Some of our first moments in the ambulance and fire truck together.
We aren't going to talk about those moments though, Larry. Because there are some moments that we should never say out loud.
Yes, yeah, some that were traumatizing. But no, being on the fire department with Josh and you, both of you guys, personalities matched. Just the constant wanting to give back, give everything for nothing, essentially.
Yeah. I think that's the brotherhood, though.
Yeah.
That's the brotherhood
sure.
of the fire department for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've got each other's backs, but we're all type A personality too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you aren't going to find a type B personality on the fire department because they just don't exist.
Yeah.
It's like we'll do anything for you. But by golly, we're going to tell you like it is.
Yes.
And you're going to follow our lead.
It's going to be our way.
Yeah, it's going to be our way.
Yeah.
So
I think also, like with that, seeing, how the baby boxes took off, and being able to be behind somebody that was so strong in doing it, made it very easy for the type A personalities to get behind the organization.
You really had no choice, Larry.
Yeah, I know.
You really didn't. You really didn't. You really didn't. I mean, I pretty much drug the entire fire department behind me like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Yep.
Do you remember the first time that we, I don't know if you were at that meeting, but that I approached, Chief,
Yep.
About putting a box in his
Yep.
firehouse?
Yep.
You
I remember.
this had never
Yeah.
been done before in American history. And here we are saying, hey, Wheezy, can we put a box in? And he's like, a what?
Yeah. I think the conversation went, Monica's going to get her way, so we might as well just roll
do
with
it.
Yeah. I do believe that conversation was had.
Yeah, we did have that conversation, but I think there's a couple times where he's like, why did we do this? Like, through the fight, because we have had a fight.
Yeah.
We've had a big fight with Woodburn keeping this box, and but we won.
Yeah.
We did. So let's start way back. Back when I was on the fire department with Josh and with Larry, and the baby boxes come up. Do you ever remember the first conversation you had with Josh on helping with the boxes, or, him and I discussing it?
I think I don't really, because I was raising, we had small children,
Right.
smaller children. And I know like Josh, if somebody came to him and they were like, I want to do this, he was like, okay, let's do it. And like, you could always see his wheels turning, like, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Even
if he didn't know how to, he was going to learn.
Yeah. And he problem solved. So I think it was exciting and fun to watch his kind of creativity come out and really like get to be a part of something that was bigger, because that's just who he's always been is, how can I help the next person?
He really was.
Yeah.
He really was. But he also had a very big sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very big sense of humor. And I remember a time when it was very windy. It was very, very windy. And I'm going to tell this story, and millions of people are going to listen to this podcast and say, what the hell were they thinking? But we always jumped out of bed when the pager went off in the middle of the night. We always jumped out of bed and we ran down to the fire station. I always had my pile of clothes at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
a pile of clothes, my pants, and I had them layered. I mean, men didn't really have to layer their clothes. Women have to layer our clothes because we know what needs to go on under the shirt, you know? And so I jumped out of bed. I had my sweatpants on, and I thought, I'm just going to grab my clothes and run. And I don't remember exactly what it was, maybe an unresponsive party or something, but I remember it was at an Amish house. Why I remember that, I don't know, but it was an Amish individual's house that we were going to. And I jumped up, got in the vehicle, got down to the station. One thing that the guys always knew about me is I'm getting dressed in the truck.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it was. I'm getting dressed in the truck. And so I start putting my clothes on, right? And I realize that I'm missing the most important part of my outfit that for a woman, like you have to have a bra.
Yeah.
Like because when you go running, it's going to look really, really bad. You know, like if this is one of those running moments, I'm in trouble, right? I'm in trouble. And so I'm putting on my clothes, and Garrison is just driving, and I'm like, don't look, just the normal conversations you have in the ambulance. And that's when I discovered that I couldn't find my bra. And I was like throwing all my stuff around going, where is it? Like, I know I had it in my pile at home. And I remember Josh just laughing like, this is epic. Like this is going to be awesome. Yes. And I didn't find my bra on that run. He gave me his jacket though.
Aww.
He gave me his jacket. And then these fools.
I was gonna say, wait a second.
Yeah, but hang on though. You fools didn't even tell me I had the shirt on backwards. So I had my shirt on backwards with no bra, right? No bra and my shirt on backwards. They didn't tell me. They just kept letting me, but I had his jacket on. I didn't zip it up because literally it touched. I was 5 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say you were probably like tripping over it.
It was like to the floor.
Yeah.
But I didn't zip it because it was so baggy, and I couldn't work. And so I just had it unzipped just so if I needed to, I could shove it around the girls, and take off running. Yeah. And so we're on our way back from this run. And I remember talking about this with Josh, and I was like, I don't know where my bra is. I really don't know where it's at. I know I grabbed it. I know it's somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. And he goes, wouldn't it be epic if it was strapped across the front of engine 2 when we got down to the station? Because, there's a bunch of guys that show up after us, and they're all going to, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if that really happens, like, I'm never going to live this down like ever. And funny story, my bra, because it was super windy, and when it gets windy here, it's just like windy. And the chief lives 2 doors down from me, and my bra was in his yard.
That's what I thought. That's what I remember too.
And Garrison laughed his ass off. Like, oh my gosh. That story, I think, was like the highlight of our relationship for a really long time because it was so funny. Yeah. It was literally
You're
so
like,
funny.
well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But he at least gave me his jacket.
Yes.
That was pretty.
And that run was, other than the fact that somebody needed 911, but seeing Monica with Josh's coat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Was to die for.
Okay. So
I do remember him telling that story too. And I remember him being like, just take your time. It's okay. You have enough time to put your bra on. You have enough time to do that stuff. And I think that was one of the best things I loved about Josh too, is that like he was never rushed. Like he was just always like so stoic and calm and just like took the reins and just did it.
Yeah.
So it was
until
like
he got behind the seat of a fire truck.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard from other people. I never really got to witness that, it's which like is okay with me.
Your life. He loved to drive.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
So let's go back then to 2016. Oh my gosh, this has been a long time. It doesn't seem like it's been that long since we installed the first box in America.
No.
And
almost 10 years.
I remember talking about this at the station, and Garrison was like, I know this. Let's do this. It was like he was so impactful on the installation of the baby box. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I just know we're cutting a hole inside of a firehouse like that. I know we have to do that.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we got to look out for this and this and this. And then I'm like, well, you want to do it? It was like, you can sit here and tell me all this stuff, but why don't you just do it for me? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do it for you. And so we went down there on my birthday, and installed the very first baby box in America. And it took us 4 hours, I think.
Seemed like a long time, but
Seemed like a
it's
long-
like we were just chipping away.
Yeah. Yeah, but he actually, before he even made the cut in the side of the wall, he gave me the blade. And he says, you really should do this.
Yeah.
And so I made a cut, and then he gave me a hammer, and I took a couple hammer, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was not very good at it, but
No.
but he handed me something back then. And I've held on to it for so long, and it actually fell off my desk one time and cracked.
Oh no.
But this is one of the bricks out of the Woodburn box. And if you notice, we all signed it at the time and the date, which was my birthday, and Josh's initials right under mine. There's Larry's. There's Jardo's. I don't remember MB, because Mariah's on this side, but who? I don't remember who MB was.
Ooh. I'm going to have to think about that one.
Because that's Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Gerardo. Ryan, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Matthew.
a G. Ryan Gerardo.
Yep.
But then, I don't know. I was thinking of that earlier.
Yeah, definite blast from the past. I mean, just the fact that I remembered Waldo's middle name.
That's funny. That is funny. So we installed the very first box in Woodburn, and it's thanks to Josh. Josh was like the hero of the night putting that thing in because he was so dirty when he was done. I mean, we have photos of him.
Oh yeah. So many photos.
He was a hot mess. He was literally a hot mess, but he loved every minute of it.
Oh, absolutely.
He absolutely loved every minute of it. And then after the very first baby box went in, we put a second box in Michigan City, and they did their own box. And through the next year and a half, we kind of stopped installing boxes because I was dealing with a tragedy in our own family.
Yes.
But then when it was time to start installing again, of course, I wanted Josh to help me make this provider guide, this guide for them to install these boxes. And we actually sat down at the fire station one day, and he was writing down how far off the ground it should be, and he was just putting all the specs, what you should use, what kind of screws and stuff that these locations should be using. And then he said, hey, if you ever need any help, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah.
That was his demise right there with the baby boxes. That's what sucked him in, because he knew I was going to call him.
Oh,
he didn't realize how much, And so, and we counted how many boxes he installed, and he replaced one and installed 20. So he impacted 21 boxes.
Yes.
For the Baby Box Foundation.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know.
It's like, where did he have the time? Because he's always doing something.
Well, his wife took care of a lot of stuff.
You were a saint for him.
Good job, Abby.
Good job, Abby.
Thank you. Well, and I think that's why. I mean, I knew that this was a big deal. This was, very important. And, I wanted to be a support to it, because I was like, I don't want to be somebody that had pushback from that. And because I was like, no, this needs to happen. And who's better to think of all those little things that you don't think about, like the measurements, anything like that. Like, yeah, there's Josh.
Yeah, it really was. And then we got a baby.
Yeah.
And we got a baby. And I'll tell you, the first time we got a baby at Woodburn Fire, I remember there was a tragedy happening in Woodburn. I mean, a huge tragedy where our fire chief lost 2 of his kids.
Yes.
And we were down at the fire station getting ready for this funeral. It was almost like the darkness just showed light.
Yeah.
Like the dark day that we were having, we finally seen some good, out of a tragedy that happened in our community. And I was handed this infant in the parking lot, and then I walked up to the bay door because I didn't have my key to get in.
Yeah.
And I knocked on the window, and guess who the first person that walked up and opened the door was? Josh Garrison. Yeah. And he constantly was telling, I thought you had a puppy. I thought you had a puppy. And I said, no, I had a baby. And he's like, we just didn't believe it. And so for him to be there for that first baby to be surrendered, at that very moment, he was standing there, because when I looked through the window, I could see him standing there. And, we all stood by the sink, and we all bullshitted. We just all, that's where we all stood. And for that baby to come at that moment and that day, it couldn't have come at a better time
No.
for us to have a little bit of light.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Mhm.
Did he call you, or how did you find out there was a baby?
We were at home getting ready for the funeral, and I remember Josh left, and I was like, Josh, we have to go.
Just to get ready,
Yeah,
Josh.
and I'm pretty sure he met us down at the church for the funeral, and I remember him kind of like whispering to me what had happened, and I was like, what? Because we were like, there was standing room only for the funeral, so we were like standing out in the hallway listening, and I remember him just kind of like, I could just see like him trying to focus on the funeral, but also like all that other stuff that had just happened, you know, the baby, you know, all of that, and it was just wild.
It was.
It was very wild.
Were you down at the station that morning?
No, I was at home.
You were at home, and you heard the call.
Heard it, and at first
You're lost.
Yeah.
You check yourself.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I think I just heard what I heard, and then it was, hey, the ambulance has a crew, we're good. Like, somebody still needed to stick around for all the events of that day. So my heart was with you guys, knowing what you were going through, but the sense of pride that knowing we didn't have to go search a field or search a dumpster for that child on what was already a tragic day. It brought light to it.
It really did bring light to it that day.
Yeah.
And so he got to experience a lot,
Yeah, he
with
did.
The success of the baby boxes, but I don't think he ever envisioned where we would be today. I
think he did.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Josh was very good about seeing into the future. Like Larry and I were just talking about a different situation yesterday, and I was like, Josh could see how things were going to go, the way like different things were going to head. Like he just knew. He was just very like that was like an instinct of his. Like, and I think that's why he wanted to be a part of it, because I think he definitely knew that this was going to take off, and it was going to be something that was going to save babies, And I remember when it first went live too, like how many times like he would run down to the fire station because, people were curious. And I remember him just every time like he was out that door.
Well, there was one time in the middle of the night that the box went off, and I don't know if he told you about this. I don't know if he told you about this, but it went off in the middle of the night. I did not go down there. I think I was out of town or something, and he called me because he was like, hey, the box went off. It's fine, but there's a car in the driveway with Ohio tags. And I was like, just leave. Just leave. I don't know what's going on, but don't go up to the car. Just leave.
Yeah.
That box is doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
And but he understood the importance of not being there, if this is what this mother had chosen,
Yeah.
The next day we found out that a baby was surrendered at St. Joe Hospital.
Yeah.
And so we really think that she was at our fire station looking at that box.
Yeah, because I remember that story too, because I remember Josh I think it drove him crazy because he just was like, I don't, it's going to happen.
And Josh's instinct was, I want to help.
Yeah.
I want to help.
Yeah.
If I went to the car, would I be helping? And he had to, make that decision to walk away.
Yeah. Well, and then he just started installing boxes throughout, throughout Indiana. I think he did a couple in Ohio.
I don't remember, but yeah, I have the list.
He went all the way down to, I think, Evansville to install. And he did some stuff for us, because there was one time, and I said this at his funeral, there was one time where we sent him down to install a box before the city okayed it.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes. Yes.
And it wasn't my fault. It was the people who were the donors, the people who wanted this box in, set it all up. We're like, go, And then Monday we find out the mayor calls us just lit, like he is mad, and we're like, "What? We were told to go install this box." And so I asked Garrison, I was like, hey, did they say, the fire department was there when you installed this box, right? And he's like, yeah, they were there. They were fine, man. I just walked in, told them who I was, what I was doing. They said, there it is, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, we weren't supposed to install the box. He goes, that's your problem.
I just did what I was told.
He goes, you told me to go down there and install it. I installed
Yeah.
it. And the rest is on you. And I'm like, you ass.
Yep.
Like,
About right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that was something else too with Josh. I mean, I think you guys both can attest to that, it's easier to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. Well, he had no idea. Well, and honest to gosh, I didn't have any idea either. I didn't know that they did not know, because that was one of the first mistakes we made when we started listening to the donors. The donors were trying to control everything, and we had to literally pull back.
Yeah.
And it was because of that situation where we let it get too far.
Yeah.
Because we probably could have been sued, for cutting a hole in a firehouse with no permission.
Yeah, and it's like the things that you learn along the way too. You're like, okay, now we know.
Now we know.
What
Don't
not
do
to
that
do.
again.
Yes.
Don't do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Gosh. So many memories with Josh.
Yeah.
So many good memories that I don't have a single bad one. I really don't.
Yeah.
You're looking away, Larry, like there's a few.
I mean, like Abby said, or you guys said, it's a brotherhood. So, I mean, there was times where you didn't agree with something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always at the end of the day, you knew you had each other's back.
Oh, yeah.
So, you could say what you wanted and it left
Yeah.
as quick as it come out. So,
Yeah.
Well, and we did many runs together, And I cherish those runs. I really do. Because we had a really good time.
Yeah.
We really made a really good team. We did.
And I always one thing that I was always in awe because we were not all the time, but there was a good handful of times where we would be together, coming back from a date or, even with the kids, we'd be doing something and he'd come up on a wreck, be the first one on a wreck. I think there was one time we were coming home from, I don't remember what we were doing, but he literally, before anybody else in the car saw it, he stopped and we're like, what are you doing? And there was an unconscious party in the middle of the road. It was a motorcycle accident that had been head on, or it was head on with a buggy. And I just watched him just do his thing. I watched him, get the helicopter to land in the middle of the street. And I'm just and he just calm the whole entire time. You didn't see him rush. You didn't see him do any of that stuff. He just was always calm about that stuff. And it was just he was always the right place at the right time, or the worst time, the wrong. Yeah. But I mean, there's pictures of him literally holding somebody steady and he was in the back seat of a car holding this woman, just stabilize her neck or whatever. And it was he was the first one there. And he did, it was so many times that he was, he did so much good.
He was a giver.
Yes, he was.
He really was a giver. He was not a taker. He was a giver.
Yeah. And and I think that's, he never wanted recognition for, putting in the baby boxes. It was he didn't.
No, he did not.
He didn't want a profit. He didn't want the recognition. It was this is not about me. This is, about saving lives and, saving babies. And I think that's why we all loved him so much too, is because he didn't want any of that limelight as we were talking about him, gushing over him, but he deserved it. He deserves the recognition for all the hard work that he did to help get this off the ground.
He does. So I have to ask the inevitable question,
okay,
which is probably the hardest question that I have to ask, but I know our viewers are going to want to know. How did Josh pass?
Josh had a hemorrhagic stroke. So he it was very he was working, him and our daughter, they were painting at a house and came home and just had a headache and just wasn't feeling right and went to lay down. And it was really kind of crazy how fast it happened. It was a really bad headache. Then it was speech and stumbling and it was it went downhill so fast. So yeah, he was on life support for 2 weeks in the hospital and wanted to give him time to see if his brain would try to recover. But because of where the stroke happened, it was in his brainstem, which controls everything. So, you know, as the days went on of trying to learn what was happening with his body, like we knew he could hear, but you know, so like, you know, if I was talking to him, you could see the heartbeat change and stuff like that. Um, so I mean, but it was, yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was really tough, but making that selfless call to be like, okay, you did all you could. You fought. And I remember like, because he was an organ donor. And I remember when we went to take him off a life support, our daughter was like, all right, Dad, it's your time to shine. You need to give. Time to give. But I mean, he was still young. So, I mean, of course he didn't go, but he was able to donate, you know, a lot of tissue and, you know, his corneas and stuff like that. So he was still able to give a lot of gifts, you know, again, in such a dark spot, you know, it's like, okay, well, he still can help even after he's gone. So, and I think that that's, you know, we definitely try to educate when it comes to strokes and stuff like that, and really looking for, looking at the signs, because I didn't know him like I should have. And I don't know if Josh knew the signs, because I think that if maybe he did, you know, maybe we could have gone in, but I can't let my mind go there.
Yeah,
All those
no.
what ifs. And I'm like, because I also know Josh that if he couldn't have been 100%, you know, it's like,
He was never going in. I mean, I don't think he would have complained at all.
no,
Anything that was happening to him.
no.
Just the fact that he came home and laid down.
Yeah.
For Josh,
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
never stopped.
Yeah, and I like, and we always knew, like, okay, he has a headache, you know, like, and that's also a big warning sign too for high blood pressure, because that was a big indicator of why he had a stroke too. So, you know, it's definitely at the forefront of our minds of, you know, taking care of ourselves and going to the doctor. So,
Well, I see you educate a lot now
yes,
on the strokes.
yes, I do.
So, which I think is just you're taking a tragedy,
Yeah.
and turning it into
Yeah.
something good by
Yeah.
trying to educate others to watch out
Mhm.
for the signs that you didn't see.
Yes. Yeah, because it happened really quick. And we did find out too that he had, like, with all the MRI scans and stuff like that, that he had been having like multiple mini strokes that,
Just didn't
you know,
know.
I didn't see the signs, you know, but I know.
So he was 39.
39.
39 years old.
Mhm.
So young.
I know.
So young. And young kids. And
Yeah.
how are the kids?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you know, they're still sassy. They still have a lot of Josh in them. Like, I literally call our daughter Josh a lot. I'm like, okay, Josh.
Well, she just graduated.
She just graduated. And our oldest, he is, you know, went through all the fire training, and just that's what he wants to do. And he also thinks a lot like his dad too. And, you know, so if we do need, you know, any plumbing issues or anything like that, I'm like, hey, I'm like, you know what we're doing? No, yeah. And then our youngest, he has a heart like Josh, where he looks out for his mama, wants to make sure she's okay. Because I mean, Josh was, you know, he loved me very, very dearly, and like I can see that, and like especially our youngest, where he, you know, wants to make sure I'm okay.
He's taken over the reins.
Yeah. And I don't like to say that, but it's also like they're such a good mix of their dad that it always makes me feel good, because I'm like, I still get to see him a little bit. So
A little bit of Josh.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I miss him.
So do we.
Yeah.
A lot.
I bet.
So one thing we always, I don't know if you guys know, but we always, especially in my line of work, be like, oh my gosh, you know, we have this incident, or like, you know, something's wrong with the daycare or whatever. And we'd always be like, well, did you call Josh? So we had this running joke where, what would Josh do? And we still say it.
I'm guilty. I told
what
her
would
last
Josh
night
do?
We talked
Yeah.
at the baseball game, and I told her, I was like, there was a problem I had with my furnace one time. Josh did plumbing. I called him, and he's like, let's figure it out. He came over and he taught me, and now it probably happens, I'm going to say once a year, even though I have a service company come in and, you know, they say everything's fine at the start of the season of winter, and yet I still have at least one time during the winter I have to do what Josh taught me. And every single time furnace works fine.
Yeah.
Never have another issue the rest of the year. But that one thing that Josh taught me, my wife said it last night, like every time something comes up, we're like, call Josh. What would Josh do?
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, and it's funny that we didn't even really know that the family still does that.
We do.
Well, and the fact that his company was called Rescue Plumber.
Yeah.
And I come and fix what your husband breaks.
Yeah.
That was like his tagline.
Yeah.
Like that's just
We
perfect.
repair what your husband fixed.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah, he was at our house doing plumbing, and I think he changed out our water heater one time, unplugged our toilet. He put pennies under my toilet. He said because it was rocking.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Give me a penny," and I gave him a penny. We replaced our toilets a couple of years ago, and I found those damn pennies under there. And it was
Did you leave them for good luck?
oh, I still have them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course I do. You think
Well, I know.
of course I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Save everything.
Well, and I think that was so cool too, because I was telling Larry, Josh, nothing was ever about money. It wasn't like I can make a buck doing something. It was like, how can I help? How can I teach? So he would walk you, so many of the different all the firefighters or, just people that would call, like even people that like were literally just need to hire a plumber, would find out what the issue was. And you'd be like, okay, we'll try this or this. Because it was more important to teach that skill. And that's what he did with our children as well, is that, our oldest always went with Josh a lot. So, so our oldest definitely has a lot of the same, like he has all those skills. Like he could build his own house because of how many different things Josh taught him along the way. And because it was more important to teach than, just to bill you and get some money. So
you can tell just by meeting him, you could tell it was never about the money.
No, never.
It was never about the money.
Mm-mm.
I think that's why I just appreciated him so much, is because I didn't have any money at the beginning.
Yeah.
We were literally like in negatives in our bank account for Safe Haven baby boxes. And he was like, yeah, what do you need?
Yeah.
This was there.
Mm-hmm.
So he passes away and you get a call last September.
I did. I was sitting on my couch and I was like, did Monica butt dial me? Like, is that still a thing? I was like, why is Monica calling me? And then I was like, hello. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, sitting here. She's like, we got a baby. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a baby. We got a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I was just as shocked as you were.
Yeah.
But I said, I got to call Abby.
Yeah.
Because I used to call Josh.
Yeah.
I
know.
I used to send him the photos and call him. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, I got to call Abby. I got to call Abby and tell her. And so I've had the privilege of meeting this little guy.
Oh, yay.
And I think very soon you may be able to meet him as well. And it's just a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it's really come full circle
Yeah.
for him. Well, I appreciate you coming and talking to us a little bit about Josh and why he was so important to Safe Haven Baby Boxes and why he literally helped us launch this multi-state company that's across this nation. We're launching in Montana on Wednesday.
Yay.
It's like we're in 23 states now. And I'm going to be honest, I never envisioned it being this big. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I had a dream that we would save some babies in Indiana, but we are, way beyond what I ever envisioned we would be.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Josh was a dreamer though,
Me too.
I am, because he was the light in a lot of times where, you're like, oh, dang it, and he's like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's figure it out. And
Yeah.
I loved that about him.
I think that was definitely something that let's just do it. Let's start.
Tear a wall apart.
Yeah. And say,
Find
let's
what's in it.
exactly. Like, how else are we going to figure this out?
Right.
So,
My last question is, how are you? How are you doing?
I feel like I'm finally, probably in the last 9 months, I feel like we kind of are leveling out. Like definitely kind of feeling like we're finding our grounding again. Like when you lose a main player in your family, like everybody kind of has to pick up some extra slack. So, and I think that having such an amazing village, having a fire department, having, the community just wrapped us in their arms and kind of really helped carry us along, the death of, a dad, and, a husband and a plumber and a firefighter and a friend and a son. And it's, it rocks your world, really, like flips you upside down. And it's like, when you get knocked under a giant wave, you have to try to figure your way out. Like nothing, you can't figure out which way's up when you're like under the water like that. And like, just, I think really having a community that really, they helped us so much, especially the fire department. Like we couldn't have gotten a lot of things done without them, helping us move, multiple times. And, it's been a really long road, but dang, we did it.
Let me tell you, Monica, if you need a hug, this girl can hug, and you will feel that. It's almost like, I gave Josh the nickname Huggy Bear.
Bear,
and last night, I got a hug from Abby, and I told her, I was like, oh my God, I forgot. You are the world's best hugger. Like, you can just feel that energy, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, and I think that's one thing that I miss most about Josh is his hugs. So I'm like, if I'm going to give a hug, I got to give a hug.
Yeah.
I was at one of the ball games downtown a couple weeks ago, and I sent Larry a picture of a guy that looked just like him. I'm like, I sent it to him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Garrison. Like, holy smokes. I sent it, and he says, holy smokes, it's Huggy Bear.
You're going to have to show me later.
I will. I'll have to show you. But
maybe. I don't know.
You might see him in Fort Wayne. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, he must live around here.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, he was a big guy, bald with a beard, and that's pretty common in the Midwest.
The dad bods are coming back.
Yeah, I know. So it's pretty common in the Midwest, but every once in a while you get one and the guy will be standing the same, and you're like, whoa, that kind of threw me for a loop. So
yeah, I bet that would be hard to get past sometimes when you're really missing him.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like, okay, I'm going to take my moment. Because sometimes you need to have those moments, and then you kind of like.
Has it been 4 years?
3.
3 years.
It was 3 years in March.
3 years in March. Gosh, doesn't seem that long ago.
No,
it really doesn't.
It seems like ages, but it also feels like yesterday. Don't it?
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on Beyond the Box.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having us.
For just reminding me of what a good guy Garrison was.
I know.
Because sometimes you just need to be reminded.
Yeah.
Days go by and you kind of forget. Mm-hmm. And talking about him just brings a smile to my face.
I know. Like, it does.
He was just an amazing guy.
And I like to be able to keep talking about him and sharing his story and what, his true passions were.
Well, we appreciate him. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. This is Monica Kelsey from Beyond the Box in the studio. We will be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday for another podcast. God bless you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening to Beyond the Box with Monica Kelsey today. If you would like to support this ministry of helping moms and babies across this country, one box at a time, you can make a donation today at shbb.org.